What's happening?
I'm Batman.
It feels like everyone has been against Andy Muschietti's Flash movie, even before the Ezra Miller allegations clouded the production.
What's happening?
I felt like one of 6 people that was actually excited for it, and I was actually really disappointed when it fell off the 2022 slot alongside Aquaman 2. The prospect of seeing the Flash lead his own movie and a kind of buddy cop adventure with Michael Keaton's Batman sounded awesome. And guess what? It does indeed look awesome. We got a new Super Bowl spot and trailer over the weekend, and it's safe to say this looks like everything I'd want from a multiverse team-up. This movie is just incredibly surreal, and if DC can pull it off, it will break the multiverse superhero movie. This will be the one to beat, because this is, rather bizarrely and rather brilliantly, marrying a whole host of different DC styles and eras rather than just taking the actors and placing them within a modern context.
Great, it's just some random guy.
A la Spider-Man No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. Whilst those movies have their charms,
That's great! Thank you! What is that?
it annoyed me to no end that the Raimi Spider-Man theme was underutilised, and the cinematography that was synonymous with that era wasn't so much as referenced. It annoyed me that Patrick Stewart's Xavier was just there for the sake of it, there to get killed off. He was a gloop shitto. Whereas in the Flash trailer, we jump between a whole host of DC cinema staples. When we're in the Keaton Batcave, it channels the feel of the Burton movies. When we're revisiting Zod's Kryptonian invasion, it goes full Snyder. This film is wise to highlight the differences between these eras, rather than homogenising them under one house style. At the same time, it's not afraid to mash things together. I never in a million years thought I would see Keaton suit up as Batman again for one thing, but I never, ever would have thought I'd see his signature Batwing go toe-to-toe with a Man of Steel Kryptonian vessel. This is the kind of mashup I want to see from multiverse movies. I don't just want the characters, I want their worlds, their moods, their scores. Oh man. If this trailer is any indication, the score will make appropriate use of Danny Elfman's iconic Batman theme. This time, a god-tier Elfman superhero score will not be underused. You know what I'm talking about. I understand the concerns that a Flash movie is being overshadowed by as many as 2 Batmen, but I haven't really worried about these things ever since we got Civil War. That proved you can have a wealth of comic book heroes show up and still keep the focus of the script on the title character. If anything, I think the appearance and subsequent team-up of Bat Keaton and Supergirl will really enhance Barry's journey. This is a fun little team, and it's cool to see Supergirl throw down before Batman ever throws the first punch.
Batman, what do we do? We try not to die.
Again, super surreal. Is no one else just floored by how weird some of the frames are? Like, is it just me? Did you ever think you'd see this Batman in daylight amongst other superheroes with powers? Keaton once fought a guy with machine gun umbrellas, and now he's fighting General Zod. I was excited for this movie, but I must admit I am absolutely shocked at the depiction of Keaton Bat. Whilst he was surprisingly more agile than you might remember in Batman 89, Returns notoriously saw Keaton relying on gadgets more than somersaults. Couple that with the fact that MK is now 71, and I was fully expecting him to say a few lines and, you know, fly the jet from a comfy seat, but no, Bat Keaton is still a force to be reckoned with. If anything, this could be the most agile and powerful we've ever seen him. I love that he has an updated outfit. The original suits are iconic, but it makes the world feel more tactile by showing that he's progressed through several designs. Some of these comic accurate takes need to be shown off more honestly. My god. And that's not to say that Batfleck hasn't had his moments to shine in the trailer. He got a few lines, and that new Bat bike, Nolan inspired with a Snyder meld, looks awesome. I can't wait to see that chase and how it's used. Plus, a blue Batsuit? Are you kidding me? I suppose the presence of Keaton as an older Burton Batman finally canonises the Kilmer and Clooney Batmen as slightly different variants of that original timeline. It's strange that they were once considered one big iffy continuity, and now they're offshoots of Keaton entirely. Unless we're supposing he ended up looking like Keaton again at the end of his career after miraculously regenerating his face a few times.
And in years to come, you might find yourself revisiting a few, but just the old favourites, eh?
This movie is going to be a multiverse game changer. I would not be shocked if we went to a whole host of other Bat universes. The more outlandish or seemingly incompatible, the better. Bale's Batman has always been touted as being part of a more grounded comic book world. Yeah, grounded with all those psycho ninja assassins. Anyway, imagine if Barry turns up in the Nolanverse, or goes on a delightful journey through the campiness of Kilmer and Clooney's worlds. Hell, the late great Kevin Conroy did indeed turn out to be in the Suicide Squad game. I would drop to my knees if he appears in a posthumous voice role here. The only thing I think is a shame about this movie is it further reinforces that there was life left in the original DCEU. I was very pleased to see Batfleck and Zod. I like the Cavill-connected take on Supergirl, and I think mashing all of that up with the classic Batman is a lot of fun. I wouldn't have minded keeping Keaton around for Batgirl, and especially a Batman Beyond movie, but this movie also crucially left the door open for Affleck and others to be out there somewhere. It seems like this is kind of a swan song for the old DCEU now, and more of a one-off Keaton special rather than a long-time stint as an older Batman. I think that's a shame because I was pretty gassed about geriatric Batman being the supposed Nick Fury for the DCEU going forward. Having this very old wizard-like Batman overseeing a bunch of meta-human stories sets him further apart from Pattinson rather than whichever 40-something actor is going to play the new DCU Batman. I mean, it's all kind of a mess anyway. I just hope the new DC movies are well-told stories, you know, we don't ask for much. I have faith in Muschietti after one great It film and a flawed but still inventive second part. James Gunn recently said that he really loves the movie, and whilst it could just be some PR spin, I don't think he would go out of his way to give it such high praise if he didn't at least enjoy it somewhat. The Flash is probably my most anticipated superhero movie of the year, well, behind James Gunn's very own Guardians 3. If the movie can balance the story of Barry and his doppelganger whilst giving us awesome takes on both Batfleck and Baton, then I think this truly does have all the makings of a top-tier superhero adventure. We're achingly close to finding out what this long-developed Flash movie will finally be. The action looks epic, the DC world seems to be done justice, and most importantly, it still looks like we're getting a movie that revolves around the Flash, his origins, and his future. And the biggest win of all, Orange Lightning. Thank the maker! A big thank you to my full fat tier patron, Dr. Chike. If you'd like to donate money to my Patreon, you can find me at patreon.com/fullfatvideos. If you'd like to find me on Instagram, you can find me at full_fat_videos. And if you'd like to find me on Twitter, you can find me at fullfatvideos.